What up, B Squad? It's your boy JB, and y'all gonna be a little crooked today. So we are here for week 16 of Beyond the Gates. This is episodes. What episodes are we on, you guys? This is episode 69, I believe, through 73. So before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, you guys, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and talk about Beyond the Gates, shall we? All right, guys, so you guys know that this week I'm out of town. I'm at home for the weekend, so really being I didn't do it, but I will be back next week, and so we'll get caught up next week. And then so also, you guys, I'm at home, so I'm at the part that you guys, if you guys have been with me for a length of time, the part that always gets me distracted, I am here, and it's a lot of some fun distractions here today. Mighty fun distractions. Now, what I will say, this week, we didn't get a whole lot this week. So don't really expect me to be on here for too long today, you guys. So Monday, we'll go day by day. So Monday this week, we see as Nicole went over to Eva's hotel room, right? And so Nicole and Eva had a conversation with each other. And you can see that Nicole obviously misses Eva. I feel like she would, if she would ask Eva back, if she wanted to ask Eva back, she would ask Eva back. But I think that she's just so hurt by what happened with Eva and Leslie, Sherry, Dana, Anna, and Lulu that she just doesn't know what to do at this point, right? So she asked Eva, why she went to go see Laura. And so Eva says that, she went to go see Laura just to help Laura because Laura needed some help. You guys remember last week when Laura needed help with Nicole's files, right? So Eva did tell Nicole that, because she was talking to Eva about, her crazy mama, right? And so Eva was like, well, if you're asking me to choose between Ted and my mama, then that's gonna be hard for her to do. Which I would expect that from Eva, for it to be hard for Eva to pick between her mama and her father, right? Her mother raised her. She's just now getting to know her dad. So I can imagine that there would be something hard for her to do and that she would fail miserably, right? So Eva did tell Nicole, like, you have nothing to worry about when it comes to me, when it comes to my mama, right? Anything that she may, if she have anything planned, I'm not a part of it. I'm not dealing with my mom like that. So from me, you have nothing to worry about. Now, we see as Kat went over to see Leslie, right? And remember, last week, Kat snuck into Eva's hotel room and stole the motorcycle helmet and the gloves, right? So Kat went over to Leslie's place, pretending that with Leslie that she wants to, let bygones be bygones, which we all know that that's a crock of BS when it comes from Kat, right? So Leslie thought that Kat was going to apologize to her, and I was like, the audacity of you, lady. So Kat said, basically, I'm here for a mutual surrender. And then Leslie got a call from Tomas, right? And she was like, you stand over here, stand where I can see you, right? So while Leslie was on the phone, and I know this is the van, but while Leslie is on the phone with Tomas, Kat went to the window and opened the window and lifted. And I was like, okay, Kat, what are you up to? So we see as, both Leslie and Kat left the apartment. So then we see later as Kat doubled back to the apartment and Kat snuck in through the window where she opened it up, right? And she put the helmet and the gloves in, I think it was an ottoman, so she put it in there, right? And she snuck out. I was like, oh shit, Kat, that was actually very smart, right? So then we move over. So I guess I can go ahead and wrap Bill up, because Bill's storyline this week, we found out Bill had a stroke, a mini stroke, right? So Bill is going to be fine, but unfortunately, Bill has to go through physical therapy and all that kind of stuff, right? And so Bill is, being headstrong, being reluctant to want to do what Madison is telling him to do. And then his physical therapist is Shanice, right? So that's really pretty much where we are with Bill throughout the entire week. Bill was in the hospital. Bill didn't want to do the physical therapy. Bill wants to go home, but he can't go home because one, he has no more, like he can lift his right hand and arm, but not that well. He had to kind of push the left to get the right up. So he'll have to, like I said, he'll have to do physical therapy in the hospital first. Then he can go home, and then he'll still have to do physical therapy. But other than that, Bill is going to be A-OK, right? And so it'll take about 6 to 8 months for him to be okay, for him to be at 100%, so to speak. And then we move on to Tuesday. So Tuesday we see as Sharon and Tracy went back over to Anita's place, right? And so this time Tracy is like, okay, you've talked and you've talked. Now it's time for me to say my piece, right? And I was like, okay, Tracy, what you got to say? So Tracy did say her piece to Anita and to Sharon, right? And ultimately, she was like, with the three of us, we got to find a way to let the past be the past, number one. And also, we have to, basically forgive each other. And they want to put the past behind them, work on being friends with each other, and at the same time, they want to work on this tour with each other. So they decided to do that. And so we see as Vernon is talking to Anita, and we find out from Anita that they're not going to rehearse in DC. What they've decided to do is they're going to, pick it up and go back to Chicago, and that's where they're going to rehearse for this tour. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me know what you guys think about it, you guys, in the comments section. But that's where we are with Anita, Sharon, and Tracy. Now, moving on to Chelsea. Chelsea is like very smitten by Madison, right? They're really hitting it off with each other. I still wonder why, when it comes to Madison, like why Madison was so secretive about the fact that she was a doctor. Like, I'm still confused why she was so secretive about that. But they're hitting it off with each other, right? And Tuesdays when they found out that, Shanice was going to be Bill's physical therapist. It was one point, I think it was this week, where they were talking about Bill needed some water. And so Chelsea was like, oh, I'm going to go get the water for you. And she went to go get the water. She took the water pitcher, came back in the room, and they were like, what's going on? And Naomi was like, well, you said you were going to get some water, but you don't have the water with you. So, and Danny was like, you know what? I'll go get it, right? So then we see Danny and Andre. They had a conversation, right? So Danny told Andre that she does want him, right? But after what happened with Bill, which I think we all kind of knew this, that after the situation with she and Bill basically broke her, so she doesn't know, one, how to be in a relationship. She doesn't know, I don't think she knows how to trust anybody right now. So there's a lot when it comes to Danny, and she can't just freely be in a relationship with Andre. And that was Tuesday. So we'll move on to Wednesday, you guys. Now Wednesday, actually I think on Tuesday, we saw as Kat sat down with Jacob, right? And so Kat is telling Jacob, like, I think you might want to go get a second warrant to search Crazy Lady's apartment, right? And he was like, why? We didn't find anything the first time. And, Kat is like, well, somebody like Leslie would probably move something, and then once y'all are gone, bring it back, right? So we find out on Wednesday that Jacob does have another warrant to go and search Crazy Lady's apartment, right? So him and the other guy, they went to go check her apartment. And she was like, Detective Handsome. I was like, this lady is crazy. So the funny thing about Leslie is very, very, very smug, right? So they go into the apartment, and so they start looking around. So Jacob immediately finds the gloves and the helmet. Now, what I will say about Leslie is Leslie did a damn good job of not sweating, because when I tell y'all the way I would have been shitting bricks and shitting bricks and sweating bullets, because they found, literally, they found everything, and that woman didn't bat an eyelash. But it wasn't until after they left that she kind of started freaking out. But when they were in there and they found it, she was cool as a cucumber. I was like, but that again goes to how batshit crazy this woman is. That again goes to how batshit crazy Leslie Thomas is. Because somebody like me, I would have been like, oh fuck, like what am I gonna do? Like what am I gonna do? But hey, she wasn't sweating. She wasn't sweating at all. And so after that, we see we see Kat with Chelsea, right? And so they were at Orphe Jeans. They were celebrating their business. And Chelsea is thinking about Madison. I was like, girl, if you just don't, why don't you just ask her out on a date? It's that simple, right? And I will say I do like Madison. Madison gives me shy and very reserved. That's what I get when I see Madison, right? But Chelsea's whole thing is she doesn't want to do anything with Madison because Madison is Bill's, doctor. So she wants for her dad to be good before she even, entertains this idea of potentially going out on a date with Madison. I was like, girl, what they got to do with you? That she's your father's, like, I mean, yeah, HIPAA, but I mean, unless you ask, I mean, you can't ask about. I was confused why she wants to wait, but whatever, right? So then we see Jacob. So Jacob went to talk to Kat, and he's talking to Kat about what he found at Leslie's apartment. And then he said to Kat, like, you are acting an awful lot alike Leslie. He's like, y'all are similar. And I was like, oh, Kat. And I was like, I get where you're coming from, Jacob, but that's a terrible comparison to make. Like, a terrible comparison. But okay, right? Because he's like, Jacob's thinking is, I went to Leslie's place, and I hope you guys can see me. I know the sun is out, but yeah. So his whole thing is he went to Leslie's apartment previously, right? Remember, he didn't find anything, but now miraculously he goes to Leslie's apartment and he finds basically the smoking gun. So he's just wondering, Kat, like, what did you do? And Kat was looking at him like, I don't know what you're talking about. So then, he called the judge because he wants to get the DNA off of the motorcycle, the helmet, and the gloves, right? But unfortunately, the judge is not, going for that at this point. So then we see, like I said, I've already talked about Bill. So we saw Bill in Wednesday's episode being a pain in the ass to both Madison and to Shanice, right? And so we find out that Madison is checking for Chelsea. They talked and she asked Chelsea to dinner. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we'll stop there and go ahead and move on to Thursday, you guys. All right, so Thursday, you guys, now I will say the last few episodes of this week, the last 2 episodes of this week were exceptionally good to me. Like, I thought they were really, really, really good. Thursday, we see Eva at the country club, right? Because on Wednesday's episode, Leslie called Eva up, asking Eva, like, little girl, where is the helmet at, right? And so Eva was like, it's in a safe place. So Eva went looking up under the bed, only to find out, bitch, it's gone. It is gone. And so in Thursday's episode, we see is Eva is at the country club. We see Kat at the country club. Kat was on a phone call with somebody, and Eva walked up to Kat and was like, hang up the phone. And Kat ignored her the first time. And so she did it again. She was like, okay, you got to go. So they hung up. So Eva knows that it was Kat who came into her hotel room and took the helmet, right? And I was like, okay, you know it. Can you prove it? You probably could prove it, because well, no, that man ain't gonna say he did it, right? But neither here nor there, right? So they having a little back and forth with each other. So after that, so Kat ended up leaving, and then we see Ted come in. So when Ted came in, Ted had a conversation with Eva about, so I guess him and I forget what that guy's, I forget the man's name, but that other doctor that we met at Nicole, when him and Nicole were having their when did we first meet him? Carlton. So Carlton, I guess Carlton and Ted they share office together with each other. So Ted is like, they need a new office manager, with Kat going and working with Chelsea, right? So he asked Eva, he was like, so would you be the office manager? So because Eva was, at one point, they were talking about Eva working at the salon. Eva, she said it's cool working at the salon, but Eva's whole thing is she wants more, because she enjoyed being Nicole's assistant. She enjoyed doing what she was doing for Nicole, like learning about billing and insurance and all that kind of stuff. And so that's when Ted asked her, okay, well, since I need an office manager and Kat is not going to be, Kat is working with Chelsea, well, how about you come and be our office manager? So Eva was a little bit reluctant at first, because she was like, well, how would Kat feel? And Kat is going to have to train me when Kat's not going to go for that. I was like, you're absolutely right. Kat is not going to go for that. So he was like, you don't worry about Kat. Like, I'll worry about Kat. And so Eva said, okay, she'll do it. Then after that, we see a blast from the past. Marcel is back. Now, me and Really B, we talked about that. I know for a fact we talked about that in last week's live. But we've talked about the fact that we ain't saw Marcel since, right? So we first were talked about Marcel with Martin and Smitty. So Smitty has a new work assignment where he has to do a feature on Marcel. I was like, wow. I'm glad we talked about Marcel, because I was like, what are they gonna do with that storyline, right? So then we see as Martin has somebody come in to the house, and Smitty left, right? So when Smitty left, this guy was telling Martin about some guy, I guess, who owns like a corner store or something like that, who got robbed. And he got robbed, which coincidentally ties in with Marcel and Jacob, because Jacob and Marcel arrested a guy who was committing a robbery, right? So I'm assuming that this person who committed the robbery is the same person that this guy that Martin is talking to is talking about, right? And I was like, but again, I was just so confused. It's like, we ain't talked about Marcel in a good month of Sundays, and now Marcel is back up out of the clear blue sky, right? Now, we also see that strange white man is back. I was like, oh, God. So he showed up in Thursday and Friday's episode. And I was like, okay, what is this? And I'm still thinking to myself, like, what is the significance of this strange ass white man? And why is he always around? And why, more specifically, why is he always following Martin around? And so we see as Martin went to go talk to Nicole, because Martin is talking about the fact that he's having these dreams, and I guess that they're coming more frequently, I would say. And I actually think they're getting more vivid, because in his dream, you heard someone say, I think, what color is your money, or something like that. I think that's what they said to him. And so Martin is talking to Nicole, and Nicole was like, I'm your mother, so I can't be your therapist. But she did listen to him. She let him talk to her. And so she then said, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a list of therapists, and I want you to reach out to one of them, right? And so after that, we see as Martin is down at the country club, and he's talking to Vernon about this, right? So at the country club, this strange ass white man is back at the country club, and he's, walking around pretending like he's doing things when in actuality he's watching Martin, right? And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And so after that, we move on to Mona. So Kat went to go talk to Mona, and Kat went to Mona asking Mona for a favor. And if you guys can't see me, I do apologize. It is very hot today, and the sun is really shining. And in this car that I'm in, I don't have anything that I can prop my phone up. It's sitting on the vent, and the vent, this thing don't have anything that I can, put the phone, position it on. So if you guys can't see me, I know you can hear me, but if you can't see me over this glaring sunlight, I do apologize, you guys. I really truly do. But Kat went to go see Mona to ask Mona, which I couldn't move the car, but Kat went to go see Mona to ask Mona for some help. So we see as Mona and Crazy Lady, they met at Orphe Jeans, right? Mona was pretending like she was going to forgive Crazy Lady, but ultimately she told her, I can't forgive you for what you did. Like, I'll never forgive you. And, that's when, actually, this is the episode where Jacob told Kat that she and Crazy Lady are a lot alike when it comes to each other, what they're doing, right? I was like, ugh. I know some of y'all may agree that Kat and Crazy Lady are alike. Y'all know I'm going to disagree with that vehemently, right? So we'll end Thursday and we'll wrap up with Friday. More so with Friday, it's the same thing with, I'm gonna talk about Bill. We see Bill, he's been his typical cranky self in the hospital. We see as Haley came down there, she had a slideshow prepared for him. I was like, girl, where did this projector come from? Then Tomas came with some files for him and Bill to work on. I was like, this man had a stroke. Why are y'all doing work? Like, we actually saw Caroline this week, but I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? But whatever, right? So then we also see as Danny came to the hospital, she told Bill about Chelsea and Kat moving into her little guest house, meant to be closer to her. And then we also see Andre. So Andre went to Danny's house, and he walked in, and he was surprised by both Kat and Chelsea, who put two and two together that he is having sex with Danny, right? So you guys, I'm gonna have to go ahead and wrap this up because I'm at 20% on this phone. So once again, we still see this strange man. So he's ear hustling this whole entire time. So Martin is telling Vernon, like, I sat down with my mom. I told my mom about these dreams. And Vernon is looking at him like, why the hell would you do that? Like, after all that we've done, why would you go and do something like that, right? So he's pissed off and he's going off on Martin, right? And Martin's like, she gave me a list of therapists, but I'm not going to use them. And then the end of the episode, we see as that strange ass man comes up to Martin and whispers in his ear, what color is your money? And I was like, who are you? And what do you have to do with this, right? And then you guys, just to wrap things on up, let's talk about Derek and Ashley. I know we don't care about Derek and Ashley, but Derek and Ashley had a pretty pivotal storyline in this week's episode. So Derek and Ashley. So Derek was having a conversation with Naomi. Ashley was having a conversation with Andre. They're both having different conversations because Andre and Ashley are having a conversation because Ashley is like, Derek asked her out on a date, and she thinks that Derek is going to break up with her. And if Derek is going to break up with her, she's going to go home, get dolled up, make herself look really good, so that way when she leaves, she'll look good and feel good about herself. Whereas with Derek, he's having a conversation with Naomi. Turns out Derek was having a conversation with Naomi about proposing to Ashley. And that's what we saw at the end of the episode, was he asked Ashley to marry him. And so that is the end of week 16, you guys. So overall, good week. Like I said, it wasn't, this week was kind of a pretty light week. Yeah, it was a pretty light week. It was cool. We didn't get anything heavy, so I'm cool with that, you guys. But overall, I want you guys to tell me what you guys thought about episodes 69 through 73, week 16 of Beyond the Gates. And like I said, next week we will be back live, me and Really B. And until then, you guys, do me a solid favor. Stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. And if there's anything that I did leave out, please do me a solid favor, you guys. If there's anything that I did not talk about in this video and that you want to discuss in the live next week, leave it in the comment section, you guys, for me. Tell me, like JB, you didn't mention such and such. You didn't mention this. And what I'll do is, every time you guys comment, okay, this car just turned itself off. So weird. But yeah, when you guys comment, I'll just put it in my phone. But this car just turned itself off. Okay. That was so weird that this car turned itself off. But yeah, like I said, if there's anything that I left out that you guys want to discuss, feel free, get down in the comment section. This also will be a premiere, so in the premiere, you can, if you feel like, if you want to leave it in the premiere, leave it there, or if you just want to leave it in the comment section, leave it there as well, you guys. And I'm gonna hop off of here and enjoy the rest of my Saturday. I hope you guys do the same. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, Sunday, and I'll see you guys. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the Never Ever Met season finale. I gotta watch episode 9, and then we'll be back with episode 10. But as always, you guys, like I said earlier, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.